Welcome my viewers. In this video I'm going to show you how you can do shaded embroidery. These are the 4 colors I'm going to use. So let's start. This pattern I have drawn on the wrong side of the fabric because we're going to do the embroidery on the wrong side. This is how we will create the shading on the right side of the fabric. This is basically the cross stitch technique. We are going to do the cross stitches, or you can say crisscross stitches. Only the difference between cross stitches and this stitch is that cross stitches are uniform, but here we change the length of the stitch accordingly. As you can see, the inner circle of the flower is small, but the petals edge is wider, so I am keeping white stitches on the edge of the flower petals and small on the inner circle. So you see, this is how we do the shading. I have completed the flower, so now I can knot the thread before I cut it off. So make sure it's secure and then cut. Here you go, the main flower's shading is complete. Now let's move on to the leaves. Again, the technique is same. All you need to take care of is just stick with the pattern. If you stray from the pattern's line, then you wouldn't get the desired shape. So follow the track and keep going with the cross stitches and change their length according to the size. Now this is the right side of the fabric. You can see green, blue and pink peeking through. I'm going to draw the pattern now on this side because I need it. It is a bit different, but as long as it's good to go, it's all fine. My shading part is done, so I'm doing the embroidery on the right side now. This is called back stitching I'm doing right now. Now I'm going to do the middle part of the flower with the cast on stitches. To create wider petals, I am adding one extra needle. So now my cast on stitches would be pretty wide. From 18 to 20 stitches are enough for one petal. The first one was not so visible, so I'm showing again. Here you see, this is how we do the cast on stitches. So here it's done. Let us remove that extra needle. Here you go, and now you can pull out your needle through the stitches. Adjust the petal shape by pulling the thread. When you're happy with the shape, you can pass the needle to the other side. Now flip the petal a bit so we can take out the needle from its back. And now we are going to make the next petal. So the same procedure we're going to repeat. And here our flower is made. Now I'm making this 3 petal half open flower. This is pretty small in size, so its petals don't need to be so wide. Here again I'm doing 18 stitches, but the needle is single, so you would see the difference. We need to fix the petal on its place, so we are going to stitch it once from the top. So pass the needle through the cast on stitches and stitch it on the place like this. Now from one side lift the petal a bit to take out the needle for the next petal. So here, can you notice the difference between the big flowers petals and the small ones? Despite having the same number of stitches, it's only because there we use 2 needles and here only 1. Alright, this third petal is made, so we stitching it on its place. For making the sepals, I'm using bullion stitches. For this one sepal, wrapping the thread around the needle, I think 5 to 6 times is enough for this size of the flower. Okay, the area we shaded, their edges look pretty raw and unfinished to me. So what I'm going to do is do the buttonhole stitches on the edge. The needle I have passed only through the thread of the stitches. I didn't use the fabric with it. You may need to do from 3 to 5 buttonhole stitches through the each stitch of the edge, depending on the length of each stitch. See how obvious and complete the edge of petals looking now. This is complete. You see the difference. Same I have done on the leaves and on the small flower, but this leaf is too small for the buttonhole stitches. So what I'm going to do, just pass the thread through its stitches only once. This is kind of a stem stitch. See how simple it is. Just pass the needles by skipping one stitch, then bringing back to the stitch you skipped and take the needle from under the thread, so you don't make it like a buttonhole stitch. See, I'm taking the needle out from under the thread. See, can you notice the difference? That leaf part is done. Now I'm going to make a flower here. Again, I need wider petals, so I'm using 2 needles for the cast on stitches, but this time I'm doing only 14 stitches. So this way the petals will be smaller than the main flower. For making the small leaves, I'm using the lazy daisy stitch. I love it. It's very simple and very cute. Now this is a pretty thick needle. I show you the difference. This is the thick needle and this is the needle we use normally for the embroidery. This is yellow color thread. Pass the needle through the middle of the flower. Here I show you the thread is 4 folded and I'm making the French knot by wrapping it twice. So with 4 strings and a thick needle we would make a giant French knot. And the same big knots I made here. And now I'm using the regular needle with 2 strings and making the French knots. Finish off by adding some extra details where you feel it's needed. See the look after adding the details, and this is its finished look. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching.